Morning everyone, I've got a really exciting video for you today because we're going to head up to a wool show. We're off to Tangled Galashiels, which is a wool show on the Scottish borders, and I tried to go last year and failed massively because the road was closed at Kielder, and I drove for 2 hours and actually couldn't get through the road closure. I had to turn around and had a major sulk and came all the way back home again. So this year I've made sure that I'm going to go. So it's Saturday, it is 8:25. I'm a little bit behind schedule as usual, just having my blueberry smoothie for breakfast because I don't want to waste any more time. I've been assured that there's fuel in the car. I've got all my stuff and I'm going to make about a 2.5 hour drive up to Galashiels, and it'll be really pretty. It's through lovely countryside all the way up the A68, past one of my old wind farms that I first worked on it in probably 2007. When it was at public inquiry, so I always like to give a little wave to green rig as I go past, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to this drive. I never know what knitting to take with me to a wool show, so I've lost my knitting bag. I do have a project that I'm going to take with me. I'll probably just leave it in the car, and if I feel the need to grab some knitting, I will grab it. And what I'm working on is my vest that I showed you in the podcast. So I only had like a little bit of this done. This is a new design that I'm currently working on. And as I say, I had like a tiny little strip done, but now I've done the front, I've done the back, and I've joined it in the round. So I've kind of got this, which again doesn't really look like much, but I've just joined it in the round. So this is going to be my little project if I feel that I want to sit down and do some knitting. I tend to not do that at wool shows because I tend to go on my own. So I tend to kind of whiz round and then whiz home. But if I do, I can pop it back to the car and get it. So this is going to have I-cord straps that go tie on the shoulders, and then it's just straight down to the bottom. So I really love this textured stitch, this lace stitch, not textured stitch, but I love the texture in this yarn. So this is BC Garn Biobalance, which is a cotton and wool blend, and it's in this lovely colour, and I just really like it. It's really, really nice to work with and just having a great time. So I'll take that, and if the urge to knit anything comes, then I've got something with me. So shall we get on the road? Let's head to Scotland. Welcome to Scotland! So I've just arrived in Galashiels, it's raining, found my umbrella, really need the toilet, so let's go and see all these lovely stalls and see what beautiful goodies we can find. So the first stand that I came to when I walked into the hall was Bobble and Badger, and they had a really nice selection of hand-dyed yarns in various different bases. I mean, yeah, some of those colours are incredible. And that little glimpse there is actually the festival shawl for this year, which I will also pop a link to in the notes. They were sharing a stand with another dye company called Buzzin' Yarns, who again had some really nice hand-dyed yarns and some lovely squishy bases. And there is their contact details. The next stand that I came across was Rainbow Heirloom, and I've been a big fan of Rainbow Heirloom for quite a while. Their stand was just full of really beautiful, vivid, bright colours, and I may have made a purchase here. Next up we've got ILA yarns, and if you are looking for a delightful luxurious base, this is the place to go. A lot of their yarn bases are like alpaca, silk and cashmere, so there's some seriously beautiful stuff. All of those dual tone colours that you've just seen there are based on a yak silk base, so they get the depth of colour from the yak but also that beautiful sheen from the silk. Everything on their stand was just utterly delightful to squish. Please do go and check them out. Then we moved on to For the Love of Yarn. So I've known For the Love of Yarn for quite a long time now, and they always have beautiful colours. The stand was just absolutely delightful to look at. This is the show colourway, Tangled 2025. You can also see some Iron Brew inspired merch there. Moving on to the doodle decks, so they had a massive selection. It was really hard to pick from those, but I may have purchased one of those too. This sample is absolutely incredible. They also had a lovely selection of handmade crochet hooks, as well as the cordsmith tool, which looks like a bit of a weapon but seems pretty cool. And yeah, the colours on this stand are absolutely awesome. So I took quite a bit of footage of various different colours for you to enjoy. The Wool Chemist had some absolutely beautiful yarns and also some really gorgeous samples as well. Lots of different colours, and I may have made a purchase here. They have some Lord of the Rings inspired colourways, so who knew it? I found another Lord of the Rings nerd on my travels yesterday. I really love that pastel colour as well, really pretty. So they had lots of different colours, semi-solids, solids, lots of sparkle, and also their show colourway was pretty special as well. So here it is, and this one again is based off the mural that you'll have seen just a couple of seconds ago, and this one is called Mechanical Flow. Please do go and check them out too. First of all, apologies for the angle of this one, but I recorded it on my phone and held my phone the wrong way. So this is the fleece market where you could buy lots of different types of fleeces from local sheep, and they had a huge array of stuff in here, which was really lovely, but I do have quite a few fleeces to process, so I didn't pick anything up here. But there was also some really cool handmade stuff from a local community interest company, so I just took a little bit of footage so you could see those too. Morning everyone, it is now the next day. I had a really lovely day at Tangled Galashiels, and now I want to talk to you all about what I bought and some of the vendors that I met yesterday. So here is the show programme. It helps when I hold it onto the front page. So the show was based around this mural. So this mural is painted on the side of a building in Galashiels next to Tesco, and one of the really interesting things was that a lot of the vendors had took inspiration from this mural and picked out colours and created colourways. So you'll have seen the For the Love of Yarn version, which was reds and pinks with white and a bit of black. Then the Wool Chemist did one, which was purples and blues with oranges and yellows in it. And then there was also a designer who was called Pixie Lou Felt, who'd created a really cool pattern that was mittens and a hat based upon the mural itself. So she took the kind of geometric shapes, and she also used this really cool like the houndstooth pattern in there, and it just looked really good. So I'll see if I can find that online and pop it in the link below as well, because I didn't get any footage of that. But the vendors were really nice. It was a really nice show. It was quite warm, quite a small room, but getting quite warm. But there's quite a few vendors there. I went on day 2. So when I went, I first kind of did a look around the hall and then chatted to some people and asked if I could get some footage. Then I went into the fleece market, which was just up the street, then popped for some lunch, walked down to the Great Tapestry of Scotland, and then kind of wandered back through, took some footage of the murals, and then went back into the venue for kind of a final go. So what did I get? So the first thing that I bought was some new needles, some new Chiaogu tips, and I got these from For the Love of Yarn. And I just got some extra cables just to build up my collection, and also the little gadget that connects the small cables to the large tips, because they didn't have any of the large cables. So I've now got a 3.5mm, 4mm, 5mm and a 6mm. So that's good going. I also picked up a doodle deck from For the Love of Yarn. So I have the Autumn Doodle pattern, the cowl by Pacific Knit Company. But what they do is they produce these decks of cards and they're all different motifs. This one is the Spellbound card, so it's all kind of witchy stuff and spooky stuff, so spiders, and I love this one, the cat on the bookshelf. So I got one of these in order to make a cowl, or possibly a jumper actually in the autumn. Well, ready for the autumn, ready for spooky season. So how it works is you get a card that tells you what to do and how it works. You then get a pattern for a standard cowl, and then you get a pattern for an infinity cowl. And then you get the charts in just on playing cards. So you get all the charts kind of on playing cards. It tells you on the top what the pattern is, how many stitches it is, and what you compare it with. So that's really helpful, that it shows that if you're doing like a shelf, there's lots of different things on shelves, so you compare them together. So I really like that. I might do a jumper, to be honest, something seasonally appropriate and spooky. So I got that. It was a bit of a challenge choosing between which one that I wanted to pick, because I could have got them all. So they had ones with baking motifs on, they had dinosaurs, they had like the kind of standard season, so you can get autumn, spring, summer and winter. They're the full packs. This is just a half pack. So this has got 24 cards in it, as well as the 2 cowl patterns in the instructional card. I also have the book by the Doodle Knits book by Pacific Knit Co, as well as the autumn pattern. So the book is great because it's actually got a lot of the basic patterns in the back. So if I remember, it's like a hat, mittens, I think the socks, cowl, possibly other things. And you can basically use those as a blank canvas and apply these motifs to that. So I'm going to use that and hopefully create something suitably spooky ready for later in the year. And the next thing I bought was some yarn from Rainbow Heirloom. This is the Solo Light Base, which is a fingering weight base, which is 100% superwash merino. You get 400 yards or 366 meters per 100 grams in the colourway Jewel C. Beautiful. And then this one is Kid Silk Cloud, which is a lace weight, 72% kid mohair, 28% silk. And that is 384 meters or 420 yards per 50 gram skein, again in the Jewel C colourway. It's so rich. I think it's even richer in real life. So it is Jewel C. It's beautiful. So I love Rainbow Heirloom yarns. I made a jumper, one of the Andrea Mowry patterns, which has got it's a jumper with like the ziggy zaggy colour work on, and I can't remember what it's called. But the main colour was Wicked Pacific, which is a really deep, kind of rich, deep blue. And this was one of the contrast colours that I used in that jumper. But the jumper's too small now, and I can't pull it out and make anything else with it because I'm not going to have enough yarn. So I think I might have to make another version because these colours are so rich. She also does an amazing like orangey pink called Killer Flamingo, which I love so much, but just doesn't suit me like as a full garment, but is perfect for a pop of colour. So that jumper also had that colour in as well. So these are going to become a ranunculus. I've just finished a ranunculus and I absolutely love it. I used 300 meters and I did the first size of the old version of the pattern, and the fit's perfect. It's really, really good. It's very easy and very breezy, that one, because it's knit in a single strand of lace weight mohair. This one is going to be these two held together, and I'm going to knit it a little bit longer. So I'm really looking forward to casting this on, and might even get the yarn wound up this afternoon. So we don't really have any plans today. We're just going to have a chill day after all the driving yesterday, and we've been to the gym this morning. So I've been up and out early. So I'm looking forward to a nice chilled afternoon. The next thing that I bought was this. So this is a fibre pack. It's from My Mama Knits. So you get 6 25 gram merino tops, 2 5 gram wool neps, and 4 5 gram Angelina Sparkle fibre. And this is basically to put on my blending board and to make some rolags with. So rolags are like little colourful snails that you can create to spin from. And I also bought the blue sparkle as well to go in there, because the sparkle is this bit, this bit, this bit, and this bit. so that it blends in with all of those colours, but there was nothing for the blue or the two blues at the top, so I got this one to kind of tone in, and that is just going to become something really sparkly, and at some point I will then spin it and turn it into yarn. So this was £13, which I didn't think was too bad for this amount of fibre. It's something fun to play around with and something a little bit different. I bought that in the fibre market, which was just up the road from the main vendors in the volunteer hall. And then the final thing that I bought was another skein of yarn from the Wool Chemist. And this is the Gold Sparkle Sock Ply Base, which is 80% superwash merino, 15% nylon and 5% gold stellina. You get 400 metres per 100 grams, and the colourway is the Undying Lands. So me and my husband are huge Lord of the Rings fans, and I was actually drawn to the colour first. I saw these two colours together and I thought, oh, it was very kingfishery, and I was like, I really love that yarn. And then when I saw it was called Undying Lands, I was like, yeah, I need to get that. So we're not entirely sure kind of where the colours or inspiration came from, but it just felt really right in terms of the name of the yarn. So a couple of years ago, the Wool Chemist told me that she did a Lord of the Rings advent calendar, and this was the Christmas Day skein. So it's like the end of the advent. It's the end of the journey in Lord of the Rings, and it just felt really appropriate. So I bought this to make some socks. If anyone's got any recommendations of socks that would work with a really highly variegated yarn, please do let me know. Pop them in the comments below, because I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to make yet. But it's a really, I mean, look at that blue. It's so beautiful. There's lots of different colours in there, and it's really soft. So I think that extra bit of merino and so it's 80% rather than 75%. It just feels really squishy. So I'm gonna cast on some socks. So any recommendations would be wonderful. I didn't go mad at the show. I went a little bit mad at Spring Into Wool, but I have knit quite a few things with that yarn since then. I'm going to cast these projects on pretty much straight away. So I'm currently working on my vest design, which is now onto the body. So I'm kind of working my way down that, and I've got something else that I can't talk about that I'll be working on at the moment. So these will be good things to kind of pick up and work on in the meantime. So thank you so much for joining me and coming to Tangled Galashiels. It's been really fun, and it's been really nice chatting to you about what I bought, and I hope to see you again soon. Thank you.